Hello YouTube, welcome back for another Transformers unboxing slash reveal. I gotta suspect if you've been watching all of these videos, which I know there's at least one of you that does, you're gonna kind of see who's coming and be able to guess which character this is gonna be today. Last week we had the Seeker Skywarp. The one before that was the Seeker Thundercracker. So, of course, this one is the last and final of the original three Seekers, Starscream. I mentioned last week that Skywarp had kind of, over time, become arguably my favorite of the three Decepticon Seekers. And the guy he's kind of up against mainly is Starscream. It's kind of a running battle between the two as to which is my favorite Seeker. I do love Thundercracker as well, but it's these two guys that kind of are my favorite. Originally my favorite as a kid was Starscream because he is such a distinctive type of character. His shtick, I guess, was that he was a coward, always looking to usurp Megatron's leadership of the Decepticons and take over control of them, and lead them to glory and be the ultimate power, ruling over the bad guys. And he also had this really distinctive high-pitched voice that went with the whole package to just make this character easily one of the most recognizable of the Generation 1 series of characters. And also his coloring with the gray, the red, and the bits of blue are also very distinctive. So everything about him is memorable, distinctive, and you know, if you're talking to a Transformers fan, whether they're a hardcore one, more like I am, or just a casual one, somebody who used to watch the show as a kid but hasn't got much into it afterwards, everybody should know who Starscream is, and I'd put money on that everybody does know who he is. So let's, just so you can get a feel for his type of character, the sound of his voice, his constant plans to backstab Megatron, and also his cowardice are all showcased in this clip I found from a certain episode. So here it goes.
But one head does not belong. Yes, Blitzwing, one head has failed to lead us to victory over the Autobots. But this mistake will be corrected as soon. I will lure Megatron into our trap. Why not let Starscream? He's been trying to dethrone Megatron for years. He's a failure. Failure? I have not failed. I have just been waiting for the right time, that's all. And that time is now. I will get Megatron. Well, fooling him was easy. No planet ever lost its orbit underestimating the stupidity of Starscream. A secret Autobot power station in a sewer? Straight ahead, Megatron. We'll need reinforcements. Reinforcements? This is our mission, Megatron. We don't need to share the glory. Unless Megatron is afraid. Megatron knows no fear. You have failed again, Starscream. It's a trap. And this isn't energy. These are absolute zero-degree molecules. 70 degrees below zero in there. Collect the Energon cubes. Show them what you're made of. That's it. Faster. Faster, you can do it. That's it. Yes. Wait. No. Put on your brakes. No, stop. That's out. Water main. You got me into this trap. I was tricked. The triple changes. They told me it was a power station. You are either lying or you're stupid. I'm stupid. I'm stupid.
So here you can see he's pretty hilarious, right? I'm stupid. So that there was just a perfect example of, you got a real showcase of his annoying high-pitched voice, which is amazing. You got a good glimpse into his backstabbing tendencies of trying to take out Megatron, which backfired on him. And then you also got an example there of his cowardice when Megatron turned the tables on him. He immediately backed down, right? So there were times when he was unsuccessful in his attempts to take Megatron down and take over control of the Decepticons. But there was the odd time where he would gain success, at least just for a little while, and think that he'd taken over, but Megatron would always come back and eventually knock him off again. And his run at being a ruler is very short-lived. And I think that's what kind of, you'll see this one, his character, he's got a crown and a cape on, so I don't know if that's actually from an episode or if that's more of like kind of a figment of his imagination and him imagining himself as he should be, right? So I also mentioned over the past couple of videos that Starscream was the only character from the G1 toy line that actually had his character. So let's have a look at it right now. So as you can see there, it's just basically the exact same as Skywarp and Thundercracker before him, just with Starscream's distinctive color patterning on the mold instead of the other ones. So I actually found my Starscream G1 toy last week or whatever. I was fiddling around with it, and it was like automatic. I could transform the thing in literally 5 seconds just from muscle memory, even though it's been decades probably since I last played with it for real. And it was just one of my most probably remembered and cherished toys, because like I said, as a kid, I love Starscream. His character was so intriguing to me as a kid, and that toy got, I'm missing so many pieces on it. I have no idea where the landing gear is for the front of the plane that always popped out, because you wanted it to, not because it wasn't designed well. And some of the missiles and stuff like that, and even the wings popped off, right? And then you readjusted them and plugged them back in another way. So that was a mold that, it was cool, but it had a lot of parts that came off on purpose. So keeping track of them as a kid, like I was always a very careful kid, but even I was missing some parts to that toy. So unfortunately, but very cool toy. But I now have something to not replace it, but to provide a massive upgrade. And let's get them opened. And this one's a little less exciting because we know what we're gonna find in here, but we gotta go through the motions, right? So let's open them up and take them out. Here we go with Screamer. Let's do it, the last of the Seekers. After this one, I got a big surprise for you next time around. The one I'm easily most excited to open of all of them so far. Well, I don't know. Megatron and Soundwave are pretty awesome to open, but this one is going to be cool, this next one. But back to current times. Let's get down with the Scream, yo. Yeah, so this one has a few more pieces to it, unlike the other ones, which had very little. But if any of them should come with more parts, it's Starscream, because he is kind of the leader of the Seekers and one of the most key, you know, Decepticons out there, right? So there's a hologram pilot that he comes with. This one's blue. Jesus. And of course, instructions. I'm going to try and do this one on my own. I'm going to have the instruction booklet opened for reference, but I'm pretty sure I can get these guys transformed, you know, by rote now after doing the previous two. So, instruction booklet. This one looks a little different. Same graphics, only he's got his special crown and cape on. And of course the card, which is a little bent, but not badly so. So I'll just flatten that out and add it to my growing deck, y'all. As for the Screamer himself, we got his crown, which is pretty cool. We got these shoulder greaves or whatever that will go on. Like that on top of the shoulders, and then look at this motherfucking cape. Oh, interesting. Ah, it opens up into a big flowy thing. Interesting. I'm not sure I'm going to keep him with the cape on my shelf, because this is going to take up a lot of space, and I'm usually my shelf. It's not a big shelf, but it's with all the characters I've gotten, it's pretty damn jam-packed by now. So here he is. Okay, we got some pieces that have come out here, but I don't think it's any sort of broken issues. Nope. Oh my god. Yeah, maybe. I love Skywarp, but maybe Starscream is still my favorite. He's just so awesome. Oh my god, look at that. Bootylicious. It's got the missile ports that open up there, yep. Yeah, so exact same mold as the other two. Just, of course, with the different color scheme and fantastic. Feast your eyes on that, people. Let's get them transformed into plane mode, get some pics of that, transform them back, and wrap this thing up. So here he is, pretty sharp, right? Those pictures, transforming him and just seeing his iconic look and stuff like that, it's like, okay, yeah, maybe he is still my favorite Seeker, although Skywarp's just this close of a second. And if you paid attention to the time-lapse, and I was hoping to get him transformed without consulting the instructions, and I did. I managed to do it pretty easily. The only issue, I don't know if you could see in the time-lapse, but at some point I was trying to transform one of these little plates here shift down when you're going into plane mode. And at one point, I think it was this side, I was pulling on it and it wouldn't go down, and it eventually came right off. And then I was holding the rest of the plane, it went flying off and dropped down there. And I was like, oh shit, I broke something, which would have been my first break. But it wasn't, it had come loose or whatever, and it took me a while to get it back, but it's in there now and it's working fine. Although I'm not going to mess with it just in case. But otherwise, yeah, pretty well-designed robot in terms of the transformation process, but as is always the case with planes, why are they always so much more fragile than other types of vehicles? But there's so many awkward shapes and stuff in such a design that it just seems like it's always that much more prone to breakage, and so I was very careful with the 3 Seekers when I was transforming them. But now that I've done 3 of them, I can do them basically in my sleep, so that's good. But I can't wait to add him to the shelf. I've got a special little spot right at the back of the shelf where the Decepticons are, and it's gonna kind of be a threesome of him, Megatron, and Soundwave kind of together, with Shockwave and the other 2 Seekers kind of in front of him. So I can't wait to add him. I'm not gonna put the crown on him though, because I don't want Megatron getting upset, you know. But anyways, hope you enjoyed it. I got one more coming in the very near future, which is gonna be a awesome one that I'm very excited about. And then I've got one more on the way, which is going to go back to the smaller robots, but he is en route right now. So I've got at least 2 more to go. And then I have another guy that's actually in my eBay account that I'm watching right now that I hope to pick up in October when my eBay Bucks certificate becomes available, because it's over $10 US. So that'll take a little bit of the sting off of that purchase. So one more for sure. One more en route that I hope will show up, and then one more still to order. So at least hopefully 3 more over the next little while. One for sure very soon, but we'll see how it all unfolds. And until then, you'll just have to wait with bated breath. So long.